Greetings and welcome to another Factorio tutorial. I'm KatherineOfSky. Firstly, I want to thank all of my patrons and supporters, everyone who watches my videos, comments, likes, etc. You are great. Eleonora and Araminta, my gray kitties, send you all the fuzzies. In this tutorial, we're exploring fun things you can do with inserters, from the basics to handy constructions to help you swag out your base with sneaky little setups. Let's go over a few of the basics. So inserters will place items on the far side of the belt. Now that happens in either direction of the belt. However, if you turn the belt upward, it puts it on the right side going in the direction of the belt. If you change that and put it downward, not sure why you would, but you might, it puts it also on the right side in the direction facing the inserter. Now what we can do with that is if you need to have this that way, you can certainly put it on that side of the belt in that way. Also note that inserters take from both sides of the belt, as you can see. Conveyor belts come in 3 different speeds. We have the yellow belt, which transports 15 items per second. We have the red one, fast transport belt, which goes at 30 items per second, so basically double the yellow. And then we have the express transport belt, which we commonly call blues, and that transports 45 items per second, so that's 3 times the yellow. You'll want to make sure that you use inserters appropriate to the speed of the belt. Here we can see 3 regular inserters, the yellow ones, and they're operating at 3 different speeds of the belt. The first section here is yellow. You can kind of see it underneath the solid fuel here. The second one is red transport belt, and the third is fast. You can see this one working continuously to get the items off the belt. The red one is doing a little bit better, but it's still kind of flailing around a bit. And the blue one, oh my gosh, the flailing is real. Tentacles everywhere. So anything above red, you are going to want to improve to a fast inserter, and you can see that they immediately pick up their stack and they put it in the box. If you have 2 materials that you want on opposite sides of the belt, what I like to do is make a belt structure that's like this. Now you'll need to be 3 apart, and luckily an assembler is exactly 3 tiles apart. You can place the belt in the center of this and then have it go out to feed the rest of the assembly line. And then you can have inserters outputting to this side of the belt. The input material can come from this side, or you can even place it in like this so that both of the assemblers can access it. It's best if you leave 1 space on this side because assemblers have a hard time grabbing from this side if the belt is going the opposite direction. So you always want to take from the incoming side like that. Now to see this actually in practice, we'll walk over to this science section where I have belts being made and inserters. They're both going on opposite sides of the belt to feed the rest of the array. Green chips are being served by this belt over here, and only the inserters needed. So what I could have done is put the inserters on the opposite side instead of having this extension, but I didn't, so luckily Underground saved us. Now we know that inserters place items on the opposite side of the belt, but what if you want 1 long line of assembly lines and don't want to put them on both sides? Well, there's an easy trick that you can do is count up half your machines, have them place on 1 side of the belt, which is going to be the opposite side, and then we're going to have your other machines over here. Now the way to get it to place on the near side is just make a tiny squiggle like this. And make sure to leave 1 space there. You can actually put it closer just like that, and they will drop off on the near side, just as in this section over here where I'm making batteries. Now there is another solution to this particular problem, and let's go ahead and demonstrate this. You have your line of assemblers and you want stuff on both sides of the belt. All it takes is 1 extra space, and you can put on the opposite side of the belt with a red inserter, and on the near side of the belt with a yellow inserter. All you need is a little extra piece of belt here. And so that way it will load both sides of the belt. In practice, it looks like this. And anytime any of the sides is free, the machine will be able to output on either side of the belt. You can either do it per machine, or every other machine has a near side and the other ones have far sides. But with doing it with every machine, you'll be able to have full production all the time. Now, there's another sort of solution that you can do, and it's called lane balancing. So this is if you have all of your assemblers producing onto one side of the belt. And what you can do is just grab a splitter. Now, there's two variations. There's a corner variation, which is like this. And basically, it splits that lane into two, and it puts product on both sides of the belt. Now, this doesn't actually increase your production, it just increases your belt storage because it's now being put on two sides of the belt instead of just one. So the other variation of this design, if you want to go in a straight line, is take your belt and go this way. The first, you have one going that way, and then this one goes like this, and this one goes like that. So it's a nice little curly thingy-majingy. And there are various versions of this design, which you can, I'm sure, look up on Reddit or other places, but this is the simplest one and definitely gets the job done. Long-handed inserters are kind of funny little things. So I've placed belts here in this setup right where you might place them for a regular inserter. So we have our yellow belt, which is one tile away from the assemblers and from this chest. We might have to remove some of that because long-handed inserters by default will never ever place on the closest belt. So let's just delete some of those belts there, and we have the red and blue left. All right. If you try to place the long-handed inserter next to a chest, you'll notice that if you place it right next to, the little line is away from the chest. It's on the far side. Now the clue here is to put it where the box has a little white square around it. So that's how you can take out of a chest and put onto a belt. The assembler is a little bit more forgiving because you can place an inserter here and also over here. So the assembler counts as one large entity, one large chest, and it allows you to put it in both positions. One cool thing about the long-handed inserter is you can put it both here and over a pipe. It can reach over pipes and onto the belt away from it. There's one more tasty little trick you can do with your long-handed inserters, is that you can make lots and lots of chests to put stuff into your trains. Yes, you can have 24 chests around each train car to help you get the most stuff in there. And we have this in very good practice on our building train here, where lots of little items are loaded into these cars to make things go efficiently. One thing that isn't really talked about a lot is when inserters are taking from a corner. Because there's less area to grab from, the inserter can struggle. As you see, it's kind of flailing around just a tiny bit and having issues bringing materials into the assembler. What you want to do in that case is make that belt straight instead, and it will have a lot better luck. See how it's very regularly taking things into the assembler. One really neat trick you can use is to direct insert from one assembler to another. Now, this can be accomplished this way or with a long-handed inserter. You can have it up to 3 spaces away and have it just like that over there in case you need to have belts or pipes running between. Since each factory counts as a chest, inserters pick up their max stack size in production instantly and carry it over to the opposite building. So with belts, it depends on the belt speed in order to carry that over. And a really good spot for doing this kind of thing is with green circuits. Making wire costs twice the amount of belt space as copper plates, and you can directly insert these and make a perfect ratio setup. Another popular place to do the long-handed kind of thing is with engines and electric engines. One of the neat things I like to do in a factory is control my production more exactly. Now, using the chest limiter is fine, but sometimes you want to have the ability to adjust how much you want to take and produce all at once. So what I do is this. I connect an inserter from the assembler into the chest, and then I connect it with wire to that chest. So we can tell this inserter to only work if the undergroundies are less than, say, I don't know, 200. Now, if we want to keep a stock of these, for example, if this is in a passive provider chest, what I'm going to do is put an inserter here and also connect it to that chest with a red wire or green wire, whatever you prefer. And then I'm going to set the condition on this one to enable if there are more than 50. So that's going to leave a stock of 50 in the chest. Say, for example, if we need them on our person for building, you can do this all the way up the chain. And then this one will only transfer over if there are more than 50 in this chest. So let's see if we take these guys out. We're getting some gears. Let's take these out as well. Yep, it is transferring over and making new stuff. I hope you've enjoyed this little tutorial. Thank you so very much for joining me. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you next time.